Hi guys, thanks for joining me. We are going to be making this Parker and the Porch design. It's called the Squishy Rainbow Tag Along. This is the vinyl one I made, so not so squishy. You can make it like this in vinyl. We're going to make the squishy one first, and then we will make the vinyl one as well. You can stay for both or stay for the squishy one. They're pretty similar. There's really only one step that's different from using vinyl versus non-vinyl. So let's get started. We're going to be using this right here. This fabric is called Sparkle Cuddle Glitter Snow Silver. This is like a minky, it's soft and furry. And I bought this from Julie's store. She's the one that does the live video tutorials in the Facebook page on Parker and the Porch, opposite Tuesdays and when I do the YouTube videos. So her shop is called CRAFTY MIDWESTERN Mommy, and her link will be below in under this video. If you click the see more or whatever, show more, it shows all the links. The link to her store's in there. So again, that's what we're going to be using. Go ahead and get your 5x7 hoop. I put one sheet of tearaway on here. You can go ahead and use tearaway because it comes out of the squishies, the animals, so you don't have to keep any of your stabilizer in your stuffy. So I'm using tearaway so I can pull it out. And I will bring you to my machine and we'll get started. Okay guys, I have the design loaded right there. Our first step is to go ahead and do the placement stitch so we know how big of a piece of fabric to put down. I'm running a Baby Lock Meridian if you're curious. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch the placement stitch directly onto our stabilizer. I will come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, there's your placement stitch right there. You're going to cut a big enough piece of fabric to go over that, whatever you want as your top fabric. So I went ahead and just cut a square. I'm going to put it right here. I don't have anything, any interfacing or anything on here. It's just the piece. If I was using like woven fabric or something on here, I would definitely do some sort of interfacing, but I am not. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Now the next step is just tacking this down. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. It just went ahead and tacked that fabric down. Now we're going to go ahead and run the next step, which is the heart. So I went ahead and changed my thread to the color I want the heart to be, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch that. I'll come back and show you. Okay, this is what the heart looks like stitched out. Now, this is a minky that doesn't really have a lot of fur to it, so you don't need to use WSS on top, which is the water-soluble stabilizer. If you are using a really furry, fuzzy minky that has lots of fibers like coming up or whatever, you're going to want to use that on top because it basically keeps your foot from getting stuck in the fur, and it also keeps your stitches above the fur so they don't sink in. So if you're using that kind of fuzzy fur, then you're going to want to use water stabilizer on top of this, but I am not, so I don't have it here. But I just wanted to point that out. We're going to go ahead and stitch the next step, which is the first ring that's closest to the heart. So pick the color you want there and go ahead and stitch it, and I will come back and show you. Okay, that's what it looks like with that first rainbow ring. We're going to go ahead and do the next one, which is right next to it. So I switched my color of my thread, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch that. I'll come back and show you. Okay, this is what it looks like so far. Now we're going to go ahead and do the last rainbow stripe here, and go ahead and switch your thread and stitch the next stitch. I'll come back and show you. Okay guys, this is what it looks like right here. Super, super cute. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about adding the clasp. The next step is going to go ahead and do a placement for where you're going to put your ribbon or whatever you're using to hook your clasp on. It's going to go ahead and do a placement stitch, and then you're going to place it, and then it's going to tack it down. So before we do that, I wanted to talk about some different things you could use for this. First off, these little clip things come in a bunch of different colors. I'll put the link below so you can find it easily with a link, but you can also just search. They're called plastic lobster clasps, and they're just cute, super cute. And they like have a push opening right here. Okay, you can just go like that. Okay, so we're going to use these. Then you can see this has a round hole right here to add what you want to add. So I used ribbon for this one. This was just ribbon. It was just some ribbon that I had gotten. Other things you can use, you could actually just take like a hair tie and cut it and put it through and use that. Doesn't match, but I'm just giving you some different ideas. So these little hair ties would work fine. Just cut it. They're stretchy and cute. That could work. Ribbon could work. String can work. Twine can work. I'm going to use this time, this is actually what my inspiration was these colors right here that are in this. This is cotton lycra, so it's stretchy fabric. So what I do, I'm going to show you, did I cut it yet? So I just went ahead and cut like a length. And if you come over here, you don't need it very wide. If you just cut like a strip. And then if you just pull like this, has to be cotton lycra. So if you pull, it rolls. So you get like a little rolled thing. This is what I'm going to use, okay? So I just want to show you could do that too. So I have a bunch of these right here. Okay, so basically you don't need it this long, so I'm just going to kind of cut like that. And then I'm going to pick which color I want. It comes in a lot of different colors. I'm going to use this bluish one. It's not really teal, but... All right, I'm going to use this one. Okay, so what you do is I'm just going to go ahead and feed it through like this. Fold it over. Okay, so whatever you're using, if you're using ribbon, if you're using thread, whatever you're using, I just wanted to give you some different ideas of what you could use. Now we're going to go back over to the machine and I'm going to show it's going to stitch a placement. You're going to put it down. You always put your hardware on the inside because in the end you cut around your design. If you placed it like this, how you ultimately want it, then you would be cutting that off. So just always remember you place your item on the inside and then when you flip the design, it flips up, okay? So we're going to go over there and I'm going to show you how you place this. And then you're also going to need another piece of fabric that's going to be the back of your design, okay? So I'm going to bring you back over to the machine. I just wanted to show you some different options. Okay, I'm back on my machine. I'm going to go ahead and just run the placement. It's really quick, so I'm just going to run it with you guys here. It's just going to show you where you want to place this. And you're just going to want to place it in the center of that line, okay? Okay, so you're going to go ahead and take your thing and you're going to go ahead and place it. You can place it. If you place it further down, you want to make sure that your clip stays in here like that. So it doesn't, anywhere there's a placement of this outer line in the end, you want to make sure everything's on the inside of that. You don't want the foot of your machine hitting your hardware. But if you do this longer, you're going to have a longer hanging. You'll have a longer hanging thing. If you pull this up shorter, you'll have a shorter hanging one, okay? Now you also need to make sure the foot of the machine doesn't hit the hardware up here. So if you had this too short, like way up here, then it can hit it as well. So that's your determination on where you're going to put it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it and tape it, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, a couple of things. So you can see this is where I'm going to place mine. It's going to basically stitch over top here. The other thing I wanted to tell you, if you had something that was directional or something, you're going to want, what's going to show is what you place face down, the right sides together. So ultimately this purple right here is going to show like this up. So when you're placing that, if that matters to you, make sure you place the right part of the fabric there. Okay, I wanted to tell you that. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put this here. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my foot because when this runs back and forth, I don't want to get stuck because this is kind of bulky. So I'm going to go to my machine. Yours is probably different, but I'm going to go here and then I have my foot right here and I'm going to move this up pretty tall just so it doesn't pull that out of my hoop, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and run that, and I'll just show you real quick. Sorry, I'm one-handed over here. Okay, So make sure to put your foot up, because if it's as low as it goes, it's gonna like pull that out, okay? So now our next step, I'm just gonna show you real quick since we're here, is you're gonna go ahead and take your fabric, right sides together. Now, if you have directional fabric, I do not, but if it's here, if the direction's facing you the correct way, say there's a big heart right here, you want it facing you, and then you'll just do your fabric like this, okay? So make sure you get past all those placement stitches. I'm keeping the foot of my machine up because it's still going to be running over this. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch the last step, which is basically just going to enclose this. So it will leave a hole so you can flip it. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch that. I'll come back and show you. Okay, guys, this is what it looks like. There's the top. Here's the underneath. We're going to go ahead and take this off now. And I'm going to pull all this off. Now there's lots of stitches in here, but I'm going to pull around it. So basically you're just going to get all the stabilizer off that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this stuff out and I'll come back and show you. Okay, this is what it looks like right here. I got all that out. They're little spots, so they probably won't make noise or matter, but I just kind of wanted to get them out. So you can see on this side it left an opening. So we're going to go ahead and cut right there to an angle. And then just cut all the way around. Oops. That. Put that away. And I just left some there. Now you're going to go ahead and flip it. I'm going to get my little plastic thing first. Okay. I'm going to use this to kind of get everything turned out. Okay, look how cute. So what we're going to do is turn this in. This is why you leave a little bit of fabric so you can close this. Now, even just having this not stuffed like this is super cute. You could close this and not even have it stuffed if you don't want it squishy, and just close like that. I'm going to put fill in here. So let me get it. It's right here. This is just called polyfill. It's just a big bag of polyfill. It's just this. I'm gonna go ahead and stuff it. As much as you want. Now we're going to go ahead and close this. You can close this a whole bunch of different ways. You can go ahead and ladder stitch it. You can use fabric tack glue. I'm going to use, let's try to get the, sorry, the packaging for you. It's just the fabric fuse tape. Sorry. This fabric fuse. Okay, I'm just going to use that. So, okay, so it's all stuffed. So I'm just going to take some of this. You can ladder stitch it if you want. I'm just going to go ahead and put it across there. Basically, you just get a big enough piece and put it along the edge. Like that. Making sure it sticks to it. Trying to keep the fur out of the way. Just gonna pull a little bit, and I'm gonna put the two edges together. Like that. This kind of folded in, so I'm just putting it back in. There. I'm going to make sure that it adheres really well. And there you go. And squish it up so it can be fluffy and cute. And there's your cute little tag along that goes on bags. Super duper cute. Now, okay guys, we're going to make the vinyl version now. And I just wanted to, the steps go a little out of order. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So I wanted to show you, these don't have swivels. So I wanted to point out that, you know, you install them and they're kind of sideways. So you put these on your bags. You want to make sure that this is straight. So see how this is flat? It is straight, so it's completely sideways. This is not like completely flat. So if it turns a little, you want to make sure that your clasp is not going like this direction, because then you're going to be seeing the back of your rainbow instead of turning it. So make sure it's completely sideways when you add this. If this is too bulky, make sure to add something that makes it flatter. Just keep that in mind. This doesn't swivel, so make sure you have this the right way so your rainbow sits correctly on the bag. And this one is right. I just wanted to make sure you knew that you place this flat. Okay. Now this one, we're going to show you how to use this. This is a swivel clasp, so you can it lays flatter on a bag. So I'm going to show you how to use this right now. Okay, so I have these. I'll link these as well. There's lots of options here, so I like to just show you a lot of options. Okay, so I will use this blue one right here, and I just take, we only need this part right here, so I'm going to go ahead and, oh, normally there was like a little hoop between these two. I'm just going to go ahead and take it off this way then. Okay. There you go. So now you have this piece. This is the piece we want to use. I'm going to use this same cotton lycra fabric. And I'm going to go through like this and just have this here. Okay, now I'm going to bring you to the machine. One of the differences between making the stuffy and making the vinyl flat version is you put your hardware on first in this one, and you put your hardware in before you put the back on this one. This one, you put the back of your fabric right sides together and it flips so you have clean edges. And so this is on the inside of your bag when you're putting it together, or bag inside of your tag along when you're putting it together, and it flips out. This one you have to install straight up because there's no flipping of this one at all. You're gonna connect it all the way around and you're gonna sandwich the fabric as you're making it. So when you put this on makes a difference, and also where you put the back of your fabric on makes a difference on this one. So they are different. So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to go to the machine. We're going to do our hardware first, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, we're on our machine. I have one sheet of cutaway here. I'm using cutaway because it stays inside. So that's another difference of doing the stuffy versus the vinyl. Your stabilizer stays inside the design. So if you don't want to hear it, sometimes the tear away, you can kind of hear the crackling as it folds and stuff. So I'm using cutaway. And the first step I'm going to do is I have my design loaded. Now, if you don't know how to get in between your different steps, I'm going to show you that. You should have a needle with a plus and minus. Go ahead and click that on your machine. Look for it on your machine. All machines are different, so I don't tend to show too much machine stuff because only certain people are going to have these exact same options. But you should have a needle with a plus and minus somewhere on your machine. Once you get in there, the minus with the needle, that steps back 1 stitch within a step, and that steps back 10 stitches within a step, and 100 stitches within a step, and then 1,000. Now these up and down arrows skip entire steps. So we're going to go get to where you place your hardware. So I'm going to go ahead and step down in my design. See how it changes, what step I'm on up here. All right, there's the first placement. So I'm going to run that real quick. So I'll just show you that. Okay, well the thread wasn't in there, but it doesn't matter because I just needed to know where the placement is. I'm going to re-thread my machine and then I will come back and show you what we do next. Okay, so I re-threaded my machine, but you can see even without it doing the thread right there, it was just the placement. I can see where the little holes are. So what you're going to do with your hardware, whatever you use, is you're going to go ahead and place it down right now, and you're going to place it. The same rules apply. You don't want it too close to where the machine foot is going to hit your hardware and stuff like that. So I'm gonna place it and tape it, but I'm just kind of showing you here. You're gonna want to get it straight. You can do it where you have it like here and here, so there's like an opening, so it's flat. They're not on top of each other. If you like that look, you can do that as well. I'm gonna go ahead and place them directly on top of each other and placing it up. And you want the hardware sticking out on this one. This is a different. If you're doing vinyl versus the stuffy, the hardware goes out. For the stuffy, it goes on the inside. So we're going to go ahead and go out, and I'm going to tape it. I'll come back and show you. Okay, you can see I taped the hook there, and I also the clasp, and I also taped down here. It's going to run across this. Again, you're going to want the foot of your machine up. So I showed you how to do that already. Mine's still up, and I'm going to go ahead and run that. And it's just going to tack this down. Okay, so we did the tack down of the hardware. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this so it's not this long in here, and then I'm going to cut a big enough piece of vinyl that's going to go over the spot, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, I'm keeping my clasp taped down so it stays out of the way, it doesn't bounce around. I went ahead and cut the excess there. You can see that it's tacked down. Now I'm going to go back to my machine, and I'm in my steps. Now I'm going to go to the first step. So I'm going to go back up. You can see I'm getting back to my steps. All right, there's step one. It's going to do the placement, and then it tacks it down. So we're going to go ahead and do the placement, and then that will show you how big of a piece of vinyl you need. So I'm going to run that, and I'll come back. Make sure your foot is still up because this is still bulky. Like it's still raised high. Okay, I'm going to stitch it. I'll come back. Okay, there's your placement. Now you can measure a big enough piece of vinyl to go over that placement, and then go ahead and tape it down. I'm going to tape it down, and then I'm going to show you what we do next. This is what it looks like right there. I went ahead and just taped a big enough piece of vinyl. This vinyl is really cool. Let me show you it. It's like this pretty iridescent stuff. This is from mypunkbroidery.com. I have it linked in my stuff below in my links. This is called the Geo White line. So if you type GEO white over in my punk broidery, this will come up. It's really pretty. I use it all the time. Okay, so now we're going to run the next step, which is going to go ahead and tack this vinyl down. Okay, I'll come back and show you. Okay, there it is. You tacked it down. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to run the heart and the 3 rainbow arches without you guys. We already ran that in the other one, so just go ahead and run through those steps like normal, and I will come back and show you when we get there. Okay? Okay, guys, we stitched all of the rainbow. Now we're going to do the last part. So on the stuffy, you remember you take the fabric, on the stuffy, you take the fabric and you place it right sides together like this, and then this is in between them. Well, because we do not flip the vinyl, you put the vinyl on the back. So you go ahead and flip this. We're on our last step where we're going to put the back on. I'm taking the same vinyl. I'm going to make sure I get over all my stitch lines, and I'm just going to tape this down. Okay. Now this is underneath your hoop, so make sure you tape it down good. And then I'm going to bring you back to the machine because we have to go through our steps to pick which one we want to run. Since we're running this differently, you have to swap between your different steps. So I'll show you which one you need. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to the machine and we will show you what step we need. Okay, I'm back on my hoop where we have the back on the underneath, and I'm going to go ahead and go through my steps So I'm just going to show you. We already did those. Okay, so this is normally the last step, but you don't want that opening, so we're not going to use that one. This is your placement. I'm going to do the second step. So step 2, it goes all the way around and closing this. That's what step you want. And it only is a single stitch, so I'm going to actually run it twice. I'm going to run it once, and then I'm going to run it again. Okay, and then I will take it off my machine, and I'll show you what we do next. Okay guys, here we are. Here's what the front of your hoop looks like, the top, here's what the bottom looks like. So we can take it off our hoop now. Okay, now the stuffy is definitely easier to run, just so you know, because the steps are already in the right order. It's easier to put the hardware on the inside. It's easier to cut around it, but you know, I always like to challenge you guys and show you different things you can do with the designs that you buy. So I am going to show you this. So this is a little harder to cut because you do not want to cut off this. It's like doing a book band. I don't know if you guys have made those, but you got to remember not to cut this. So I'm going to cut all the way around it to a certain point. And I'm just going to cut like this. And I'm just gonna cut to a certain point. You do not want to cut that. Now I'm gonna flip it over this way and cut the opposite direction because it's easier for me to cut. And I'm just gonna get it over to where that is as well, and I'm gonna stop, okay? So I'm just gonna cut this stuff off so it's out of my way. I'm going to switch scissors because those are too big for this intricate cutting. Okay, and I'm going to take this off now so I can bend this. Okay, so now we can do the back first because you won't see that as much. I take my finger and I hold this out of the way. I just kind of bend it down, and then I cut this off. And I just kind of try to go with my same cut I was cutting, like that. And then I do the exact same thing on this side. I pull this down this way, make sure my finger's there, and I just try to cut this to match as much as I can. But you see, I cut pretty far, so I don't have to match with these short little cuts very much, so it doesn't look all wonky. Okay. There you go. There's the front, there's the back. Now, a few things that I want to tell you. I just cut the extra little thing off right there. It's super cute. These are so cute. Now, this is like the swivel, and it has this. Couple things I wanted to let you know. Like, I always try to give you some different little warnings. If you're doing the stuffy, this really doesn't matter if this is thicker or not. It's fine because it stitches. When you stitch this front, you stitch this front before you put this hardware in, so the stitches don't have to go over whatever you're using. This cotton lycra is thicker than like a ribbon. The ribbon's really flat, so it's a little more bulky. But when you do it as a stuffy, it doesn't matter because this goes in after the front design's already been stitched. Now, as far as this one goes, you can see that there's a little lump right here. So when it does the stitching right here, yeah, but you can see, depending on how thick this is, it might not turn out as well. So I want to make sure you know that. Don't go super, super thick on what you use. I'm going to just cut some of these little different things, okay? Okay, so keep that as a note. You can see that there's a little bump right here because my cotton lycra right here is thicker than ribbon or string or whatever. So I just want to give you that warning. But these are super cute bag tags. It'd be really cute to add a name across here. I could see it in cute black, like cursive writing going across here. That would be super cute. If you don't know how to add wording, go watch the penguin squishy stuffy that I made. I did make a tiny one and showed you how to add a name to it. It would be the exact same thing you would do here. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if there's any tutorials you're wanting. Right now I am doing a tutorial every other Tuesday. It will be released here and in the Parker and the Porch group and in my group over at Panda Kisses on the YouTube channels. And then Julie from Crafty Midwestern Mommy, she also is doing live tutorials the opposite Tuesdays of me, and those go live over in the Parker and the Porch Facebook group. So make sure to go catch those lives, and if you miss them, then you can go over there and watch them after they've been done. When they're done, they stay up there, so you can still watch them. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope I didn't confuse anybody, but I like to step out of the box and show you how to do different things. And give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Go ahead and click on the little bell, and it will notify you when any tutorials come out. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'd love to see what you make. Go post it in the Parker on the Porch Facebook group. Thank you so much. Bye.